This video is on objective 46, which is to draw and label a diagram showing the structure of water molecules to show their polarity and hydrogen bond formation. So water is H2O, which is two hydrogens and an oxygen, and they form a covalent bond, or two covalent bonds, I guess. And oxygen has 6 valence electrons and is very electronegative, while hydrogen has 1 valence electron and is not very electronegative. And oxygen's electronegativity causes it to attract the electrons that they share with hydrogen, and it shares it unevenly, so that oxygen sort of hogs the electrons, so to speak, which causes oxygen to have a partial negative charge and hydrogen to have a partial positive charge, or both hydrogens to have a partial positive charge. And these charges cause the interactions between water molecules to be polar. So hydrogen is slightly positive, which means that it's attracted to the slightly negative oxygen, and these are called hydrogen bonds. And hydrogen bonds are what give water a lot of its properties, which I am going to go into more detail about now. So one of the properties is capillary action, because of the cohesion of water, or the hydrogen bonds between water. And capillary action, or capillary attraction, is the ability of water to move upward in small spaces, and it makes it possible for water to move up the fibers of a plant, which is how plants get the water that they need to survive, which is pretty important to biology and life on Earth. It also moves water upwards in soil. Another property that hydrogen bonds give water is surface tension, which is sort of like water's invisible skin. And another property is solvency. And water is considered the universal solvent because its bipolar molecule enables it to dissolve a wide variety of substances, and solubility is affected by polarity. Polar substances can dissolve other polar substances, so since water is polar, it can dissolve other polar substances. But nonpolar substances dissolve other nonpolar substances, and polar substances and nonpolar substances don't mix, which is why water and oil don't mix, since water is polar but oil is not. Another property of water is density during phase changes. So the density of most substances increases when the liquid becomes a solid, but solid water is actually less dense than liquid water, which is why ice floats. And the fact that ice floats is essential for the survival of many aquatic ecosystems and ultimately life on Earth. So water's properties are pretty important for biology and for life on Earth as we know it. So to review, water is made up of 2 hydrogens and an oxygen, and they share, or the covalent bonds share electrons unequally because of oxygen's electronegativity, which causes the partial negative charge on oxygen and the partial positive charges on the 2 hydrogens, which causes the polarity and the hydrogen bonds between water molecules, which is important for many of its properties.